Good evening. This is Heather Curtis, your Magical Life Mentor, and I'm super thrilled you're here. Magical Life Mentoring is all about you overcoming your own obstacles, you being unstoppable, and being in action. And today, I wanted to talk a little bit about whether or not you're living in the past and how some little bit of tricks and tips to keep you from living in the past and start making a brighter future for yourself. So, you may have been told to stop living in the past. You know, people will often say this in attempt to encourage you, to give you encouraging advice to move on with your life. And it sounds easy enough for someone to say, but it's not always that easy. It can be very difficult, especially if there's deep-seated reasons behind living in the past. Significant past experiences and memories such as a death of a loved one, painful breakups, a traumatic childhood. These can all be contributing factors as to why you continue and living in the past and are not able to easily move on in with your life. So you may be holding on to things that are no longer relevant. All right. So if you can't let go of the past, you won't be able to fully appreciate the present and the beauty of what's happening in your life currently. The hardest part of any change is making the decision and starting. So the first step is to take some quiet time to yourself for a little bit of self-direction. A self-reflection to give you some new direction. But just take a moment and just quiet down yourself. Be in a safe place, whether that be like me, I go to my bathroom and take a bath, or in your room, outside, somewhere that's safe for you, and just pause for a while and contemplate on your current life and the feelings that you have in compared to what they could be. So if you're in a situation where you're in your life and you're not feeling very good about it, think about how they could be. What could your feelings be about your situation? Because without your active effort, things may improve very, very slowly for you. Sometimes they won't improve at all if you're not actively working on it. So you can take action and make space for a new, happier life. And here's some ways that you can move forward, okay? One is to focus on the present. Focus on the present. I have this thing where sometimes I'll go, now, 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 now. And that's because I'm refocusing. Whenever I feel like I'm getting stuck in a reoccurring pattern, sometimes I will just stop and I'll just go now, now. And that really helps me to focus on what's happening right now, right now, right now. So I have some notes here, so I am reading. So forgive me if I'm going back and forth from the camera. But stop reliving the past and move on. So no matter what you do, you can't undo what happened in the past. You can't change it. No matter how much you wish it away or what you want to change, it's done, right? It's in the past. So you have to leave it in the past. You'll have less time to think about the past if you actively focus on the present. So if you're really focusing on the right now, your mind will not have enough space to think about now and the past. If you're too fixated on previous negative things that happened in your life, there'll be no room for positivity for you. This is entirely a choice that you make. You have to make it, whether to continue hurting yourself or to embrace the new day, potentially full of joy and happiness. It's a choice that you get to make. It's like Spider-Man, you know, the bigger the greater the power, the greater the responsibility. You have the power to change your life and you have the power to be happy or not. And so it is a great responsibility on your part to decide to start to focus on the present. You can also decide just to let it all go And you decide with conviction, though. You just don't go, oh, whatever. No, you have to make it work. You have to commit to yourself to move on. Just let it go. And if you don't think things will continue, let's see, if you don't, oh, my notes are a little confusing to even myself. So what I write here is that if you don't decide for yourself, like a strong commitment to move on and let things go, then you're going to continue going around and around in circles. I had mentioned that before, I think here, where, if you're feeling like you're just spinning on a merry-go-round, you're going around and around, it's because you haven't made that strong commitment, that strong conviction to let things go. You keep getting stuck in the past again and again, or you'll recreate the same thing that's happened. So make a decision that will empower you and your future. You need to commit to it and act on it. Another thing that you can do is to make room for forgiveness. It may be hard to forget what has happened in the past and the bad behaviors that people who, whatever happened to you. It doesn't mean that forgiving somebody or forgiving what happened in the past doesn't mean that you condone what happened. What it does, though, is it gives you freedom to have something else in the place of what you have right now. So for me, I have some really bad stuff that happened to me in the past, and I had some real hatred for people. And when I realized how much energy I was focused on the hatred I had, I actually decided, I made a full-on commitment with conviction to forgive. And forgiving can be really hard because, as I said, you're not condoning what they did. You're actually giving yourself some space. And a lot of people they confuse the two. They think that forgiving someone means that you're agreeing with it or that you are okay with it. It's not what that means. Forgiving is actually a way for you to, if you break apart the word forgiving, there's for and giving. And so forgiving is for giving yourself the space to be something other than upset about what happened. If you're forgiving the person, you are giving them the gift of letting them be whoever they are, whoever they were, and moving on. So work on forgiveness. It's a really strong key to freeing up the energy. You will actually feel lighter if you focus on forgiveness. Another thing you can do is physically distance yourself, which is kind of funny for me to say right now in COVID-19 and we're all doing social distancing. But if you're in an environment where you're feeling trapped in that situation or that circumstance, or you're feeling like it's keeping you emotionally stuck, you've got to make some changes. You need to either physically distance yourself from the people that are causing you to be depressed, or mentally detach from the things that are happening, because whatever's going on with that person, if you're having issues with that person and it's making you think about things that happened to you in the past with that person, one thing you can do is let yourself focus on yourself and let go. I have a note here that psychological or physical distance can help with the letting go process by virtue of not being constantly reminded of anything that hinders your progress. So that's one thing that you can do, is physically move away from the people that are hurting you or the people that are causing you to be depressed. But if you're in a situation where you can't physically distance yourself, then you need to realize that your feelings and your emotions are your own, which I think is one of my next keys here, one of my notes here. So we'll move on a little bit more to the emotions part. But acceptance is another one. Acceptance is key. Accepting your past experiences and the people that have been part of it will help you in moving on. You must remember that none of these need to define who you are. They don't need to tell you who you are. Practice the art of acceptance, remake yourself, and set yourself free. Again, acceptance does not mean approval. It does not mean agreement. Being accountable for your own happiness is another key to stop living in the past. Your feelings are your feelings alone. You can't blame someone else for your feelings. If you do that, you're allowing someone to completely take over you, at least emotionally. All right. You will feel a huge sense of happiness and empowerment when you take responsibility for your own feelings and your own emotions. Your attitude plays a bigger role in this than any other element. So that also helps you to realize that other people's feelings are their own as well. They're not yours. So once you start to be accountable for your own happiness and your own feelings, you can also realize that they're separate from the other people. They have their own feelings and you have yours. Evaluate your emotions. When assessing your emotions, you need to know what are they bringing to you. Reminisce if they're happy, positive, if there are any happy or positive thoughts that are there for you. But if dredging up the past causes negativity that will affect you here and now, if it's going to make you be gross in the now, then don't dwell on it. Replace it with a better thought. So whatever happened in the past, remember, you can't control. And if thinking about whatever happened in the past is causing you negativity, you can just actually cut it off. You say, yep, thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. I'm going to put that back in my past and I'm going to move forward. Make contributions. So this is a big one. If you feel stuck in the past and all of these other things aren't working, or even if they are, this is a great way to stop living in the past and be in the future, is to go the extra mile to help other people. Make other people feel warm and happy on the inside. It's one of the best ways to align with the real you. So if you know what you value, a lot of people value like friendship, harmony, love, trust, things like that. You can look at what you value and use this as a way to contribute. I know for me, I love to contribute to animal causes. I love animals. And so that helps to fill me up. So giving a donation to a worthwhile cause that's worthwhile to you, that can help you bring a smile to your own face. And then really just simple acts of kindness, and it helps you set your perspective on a brighter path. And it can have a lasting impact on not only others, but yourself. So hopefully all of these things are going to help you with moving on in the moving on phase. If you're feeling stuck in the past, any effort you make is worth it. And I know that you can do it because you are more powerful than any circumstance, situation, or condition that you're currently facing or that you faced in the past. So cheers to you and being in the present and bringing about a brighter future. Thank you for being with me. I am your Magical Life Mentor, and you can find me on Facebook at Magical Life Mentor. You can find me on Instagram at Your Magical Life Mentor, and you can also find me on my YouTube channel, which is Heather Curtis, and then Magical Life Mentor. You can find me there, where I post these videos on a really regular basis, giving you some mentoring and tips and helping you move forward in your life. So I look forward to seeing you again soon. I do have a book. It's a 5-step strategy to stop your own self-doubt, stop that negative thoughts that are going through in your head that I find a lot of my clients and people that I'm mentoring. That's a big part of their issue right now, is that they are having a lot of negative self-talk, a lot of negative self-thoughts. So you can go to nomoreselfdoubt.com. I have a 5-step system there that you can grab for yourself. I think I have it priced really low right now for it's under $20. So go there, check that out, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a magical day. I do wish you all the magical days your heart desires.